Hi guys, Kat here again from back in the saddle. Just thought I'd do another little video with me and Buddy. Last time I did a video and voiceover like this, I was talking more about Buddy's kind of personality, where we've been the last couple of years, how far he's come, about the stop starts that we've had. And so I wanted to just go over it again to give some kind of clarity in what Buddy's doing, why I'm doing it. And so here on his lunge, so he's literally just come out, he's just warming up. I've got him on a smaller circle, and you'll see that I'm constantly walking forward towards his hind end. I have a constant contact when and where I can. And I'm constantly moving around with him and pushing his hind quarters out, in the hope that when he steps under and slightly across, that his back will naturally come up as he pushes correctly. This is working over the back. Now here he's just popped himself up into trot there. I think I was going to do like a figure of 8 turn and changed my whip hand, and he's taken himself into trot. But why not? If they're feeling good and they want to jog off and they work well, then I can't see any reason to restrict that, especially with a horse like this. So actually I do want him going more forward and to feel free and comfortable to do that. You know, let his personality show a little bit. And you know, the first 5 minutes of any session is always to see just kind of what kind of mood they're in. Check your mood. So I've gone back to where I was in my plan, which was walking towards his quarters, hind quarters. And again, he's just taken off there into trot. It is quite hard for them to do this work, you know, just even in the walk, when you're asking for a nice balanced pace, and asking them to walk forward enough so that they're active enough. Sometimes it's easier just to pop up into trot, but this isn't neither here nor there. He's not really working correctly. He's not listening. In fact, he'd like to throw a little bit of a tantrum if he could. So I know the girls are calling. And I think this was the day they were shooting. So I'm like, okay then, well, if you want to trot on, let's do it properly. So you'll see once the circle gets bigger, I can literally stand and let him work around me until he finds his balance. But you see, he's not really taking the contact. He's kind of floating around on his own shaped circle and there's no direction. So he'll get bored of that sooner or later, I'm sure. So with this horse ages ago, I learnt clicker training. It's the only real way that I could seem to get his attention and get any respect from him without kind of going up and meeting him where he was at, which was quite feisty at times, especially on the lunge. And so now I literally just need to go at any pace and he will stop, which is fabulous. So if there is a point where I'm not liking the work that he's doing, like there, I will literally praise him for that and then move on to where I want it to be. So all this jig jog he's just done wasn't requested. What I wanted to be doing was walk one rein, and now back to the plan. I'm trying to get him to walk on the other rein. It's lovely to see him come out like this though, and you know, want to get on with it. But you can see by the way he's just shaking his head. If he could just have a little thunder round, he would love that. But he does love his work. He does enjoy it. And I know we hadn't been down to the arena for a couple of days here at this stage. So, you know, the first thing before any horse can do anything really is to get the relaxation out of them. That's why I don't mind them jogging off, because that's going to help them to relax. Then let them do that. It's better than them kind of, you know, gnawing their teeth or doing anything else that's going to agitate them. So if you've got a little bit of excess energy, get that out of your system, then we'll start to work. So, okay, I think I may have just given up the ghost here and gone, right, you're ready, let's do it. But you can see a bit of a head throwing tantrum, a bit of a rush here and there, trying to make his own decisions, and it's not working very well for him at the moment. I think that he thinks, I know what you want, I know what you want. If we do this, then I can move on to where I want to be. Because he's just one of those horses that really naturally progresses. But you can see there in his attitude, he's like, come on, let's get going, you know. Don't want to walk around in circles and have to work over my back correctly. And this is the thing when you have a horse really that needs working every day, because then if they don't, then, you know, you come down and this is what you get. So this is really why I'm still just in the lunging stages with him, although I have been riding him, not for far down the road one way, up the road the other way, but not far at all, because I really just want to know that he is strong enough, capable enough and secure enough in his own body to really take my weight, to be able to do stuff, as well as he is barefoot. And I want to keep him barefoot, so the little bit of walk we do up and down like the stony gravel track, up and down the asphalt track and on the road is all doing wonders to his feet. So now when it's not been raining as much as what it has been, his feet really do sound like coconuts down the road, so that's all good. So here now anyway, he's starting to really work forward really nicely in his trot and finding his balance there. He's not got as much push as what he had behind before, where he had some stop-start breaks. I explained on the other video, I moved yards. I gave up the little rehab yard that I had, that I then just had as my own yard for my own horses, and went to a friend's place, which was absolutely wonderful, very, very hilly. But he was basically turned away there for, I think it was about 5 months or so, and the hills didn't do him any good at all. So we arrived back here, which was my original yard, with a very good friend, and he started working, and then two lovely little riders, Lucinda and Emily, sisters, took him on just for a few months over the summer, and they hacked him. So there, I think that he wasn't listening, so again I had to do and get him to stop, which is always nicer than having to run horses into a fence or spin them round and round and round on such a tight circle that, you know, you both end up going dizzy. So it's probably not ideal that he stops suddenly and turns in, but it's better than what it would have been where before he would have just rushed off and I would have got faster and faster and not have been able to stop really. So if you haven't learnt the nice basic figure of 8 turn yet while on the lunge, it's a great thing to be able to do. So here I think I'm just practicing the transitions. He started to do some nice rein backs. And I will hope that this coming week I will be getting the bridle on. There we go for your nice figure of 8 turns, so just so you keep the momentum going. I think he's just coming in at me a little bit too much there and not going straight out on the circle, but playing with the size of the circle is always going to be good, isn't it? So no problem for me there. So walk to trots. And starting on the smaller circle and get him going forward enough, which he's really not at the moment, to take him out onto the bigger circle. So again, walk to trot, trot to walk, and what we're looking for there is that he keeps his balance. So now, you know, I have had people say to me, I don't understand why you want their head down there, and then once I've explained that, I must then go on to remember to explain that we're not always going to have the head down there. As he gets stronger, the head will come up naturally and he'll continue to work over his back. So there were some nice transitions there. What we're not looking nice, so it's almost a halt and then up into trot. So just keeping him going forward and thinking forward, because he is a bit backward thinking at times and he can be rather lazy, and then on the other hand too much energy. It's just finding that nice happy medium balance in his head as well as in his body basically. So there we're doing some nice transitions and his frame isn't changing. So that's good, I'm happy with that. I think here I'm requesting halt, but I don't think it's happening very well. And here we go on to the other rein. And on a nice corner there, I'm going to send him straight back up into trot. And there goes the train in the background. Again, just getting him to step under himself and create those nice neat transitions, whether it's an upward transition or a downward transition. And at times he is still on his forehand. He is starting to gain the strength to have enough push to start to lift his forehand as he is now. So there we have it. Any questions or anything I missed out, please let me know. Give us